In my last few videos, I talked about the guns you could craft from Season 16 to Season 18. Today, we're finishing out the Witch Queen seasonal weapons with the ones from Season 19, Season of the Seraph. These are some hot ones, strap yourself in. We've got the IKELOS, Seraph, and Deepstone Crypt guns to talk about. As always, best to worst. We're going to start with a little collection with the IKELOS guns. These are the ones you got from the Warmind nodes all across the place, and I think it's fairly clear what the list is going to look like. In order, IKELOS SMG, the ARC 750, IKELOS Shotgun, the Solar Rapid, IKELOS Sniper, the Solar Rapid, and IKELOS Hand Cannon, the Void Precision. Right off the rip, IKELOS SMG is one of the most potent guns in the game for basically every activity. This thing specializes in clear to such an extent that you can pretty much forget that red bars exist as long as the trigger's held down. Seriously, it's that good. In PvP, it's a stable powerhouse ready to melt any foe in your way. You want to know why this thing's so good for both? It's got the perks in the stat package, it's nuts. For PvE, I suggest Feeding Frenzy, Perpetual, or Threat Detector with either Frenzy or the ever-popular Volt Shot. For PvP, your choice of Perpetual, Dynamic Sway, or Threat Detector with either Tap the Trigger or Rangefinder. Major banger. Up next, we have the IKELOS Shotgun. While this frame's never been meta in any meaningful way, this one's going to be interesting for you based off of its perks. This season, we saw the release of Cascade Point, and putting it on this thing almost relives the former glory of how it was as one of the original Mars drops. There's also some classic popularity on this thing, although nothing notable for PvP. For PvE, Feeding Frenzy, Threat Detector, Grave Robber, or Subsistence in that third slot with literally anything in the fourth slot. Take your pick, there's plenty to like. Alrighty, now we've got the IKELOS Hand Cannon. You know, I really tried to like this thing, I really did. Shame it's a 180 because these feel like trash and they feel like they do less damage than throwing a paper airplane. I could see some niche use cases, but there's just better guns. It's got a stellar perk pool, it's just a bad frame. Subsistence, Triple Tap, Rapid Hit, or Stats for all in the third. Your choice of Frenzy, Focus Fury, Rampage, Golden Tricorn, or One for all in the fourth. Real shame it's a 180 because these perk columns are absolute bangers for PvE. For PvP, I suggest Offhand Strike or Rapid Hit with Golden Tricorn. IKELOS Sniper is not the worst gun ever, but it's a strong contender for how not great it is at most things. Being a rapid, its stickiness is almost non-existent, and it doesn't really have any truly enticing combinations, although it does have some utility for breaking eyes on IKELOS, so I guess that's nice. I don't want to dwell on this one for very long. I'll suggest 4 times with Focus Fury for PvE, and although it's not the best for PvP, no distractions or moving target with Elemental Capacitor. Up next is the Seraph collection, and before I say anything, this is one of the most well-rounded collections of guns I think we've ever gotten. Plenty for everyone here. Best to worst, alrighty, we've got Judgment of Kelgorath, the Solar Aggressive Glaive, Disparity, the Stasis Aggressive 450 Pulse, Fire and Forget, the Stasis Aggressive Linear, Retrofit Escapade, the Void 900 MG, Tripwire Canary, the Arc Lightweight Bow, and Path of Least Resistance, the Arc Trace Rifle. It's strange that Judgment of Kelgorath is the best weapon from this collection, but there's plenty of reasons for that. It's a frame that we've never seen in Legendary form, and it's got some truly great additions to the Glaive family of perks. This is the first weapon we ever had close to melee on, the perk that gives you more melee damage after a kill, and extended simply by slicing. Let's take a look at what else it's got, because it's got heaps of potency. For PvE, I suggest Genesis, Overflow, or Demo, with Surrounded, Incandescent, Close to Melee, or Unstoppable Force. Even though I wouldn't use this for PvP, it more than makes up for it. Up next is Disparity, one of the meatiest pulse rifles in existence. Pair that with its exceptional stagger potential and its wonderful perk pool, and you've got a serious monster of a weapon in your hands. Out of the 450s we were given in Season 19, this is probably the second best behind Revision 0, a literal exotic. It's got a bit of a reputation in PvP as well, being a stable 2-burst monster. For PvE, I suggest Heating Up, Outlaw, or Rapid Hit, with Frenzy, Headstone, or One for All. For PvP, I suggest Moving Target, Heating Up, No Distractions, Rapid Hit, or Eye of the Storm, with Headseeker, Killcliff, or Desperado. Ooh boy, getting spicy in here. Fire and Forget is one of the most peculiar linears I think we've been given. It's a 3-burst with Vice Stinger, which will give it back 25% of its mag on proc, but any of the 3 bolts for each individual round can proc it, potentially refilling your mag if you're lucky. This thing's pretty under the radar right now. We'll see how it performs after the nerf next season. I suggest Surplus or Field Prep with Frenzy, Focus Fury, or Vorpal for PvE. Honestly, you could probably pick whatever for PvP. Retrofit Escapade would have been first on this list if Volatile didn't get fixed. Used to be if you were a hunter running Gyrfalcons, you could bake a boss or send it flying into oblivion really easily. Unfortunately not the case anymore, however it's still one of the strongest machine guns in the game by a substantial margin. Only thing now is that its potency actually comes from the gun's perks, not how fast you can reapply Volatile. Being only really a PvE option, I suggest Feeding Frenzy, Field Prep, or Stats for all with Frenzy, Rampage, Golden Tricorn, or One for All for Ad Clear. For boss damage, I suggest you bring 4 times in Target Lock. Second to last, we've got Tripwire Canary. This is actually a really solid bow in my opinion. It's everything a bow needs to be, and it has plenty of powerful perks in the third column without slacking in the fourth. It'll surprise you how pleasant it is to use, even being a lightweight. For PvE, I suggest Rapid Hit, Archer's Tempo, or Dragonfly in the third slot with your choice of Explosive, Frenzy, or Successful Warm-Up in the fourth. For PvP, I suggest Perfect Float, Rapid Hit, or Archer's Tempo with Opening Shot, Explosive, or Harmony. Last on the list, we've got Path of Least Resistance. Even though it's the finale to the list, doesn't make it a bad gun in this case. It's a perfectly serviceable clear tool with plenty of power to bring to yellow bars as well. It's a well-rounded gun. I say Subsistence, Triple Tap, or Stats for All with Volt Shot, Dragonfly, or One for All for PvE. For PvP, I suggest Hipfire Grip or Dynamic Sway with Tap the Trigger. Alrighty, you know we had to save the best for last. We've got another great pack of guns up next with the Deepstone Crypt collection. Being a reprised raid collection, plenty of old to combo with the new. In order, we've got Succession, the Kinetic Aggressive Sniper, Heritage, the Kinetic Slug Shotgun, Trustee, the Solar Rapid Scout, Posterity, the Arc 180 Hand Cannon, Commemoration, the Void 450 MG, and Bequest, the Arc Adaptive Sword. Starting off strong, we've got Succession. Out the gate, super strong pick. This thing's a solid blasting tool for everything, including bosses. It's a simple one with quite the choice of strength to choose from. For PvE, I suggest Lead from Gold, Reconstruction, or Demo with Vorpal, Focus Fury, or Firing Line. Moving target, no distractions, or firmly planted with Snapshot for PvP. Up next, we've got Heritage. This is one of the most popular off-meta damage guns, and also a potent pick for absolutely mapping people from illegal ranges in PvP. Being a kinetic slug, this thing will do extra damage to unshielded enemies, which is really nice. Reconstruction, Autoloading, Slide Shot, or Demo in the third. Focus Fury in the fourth for PvE. To absolutely map people after a kill with this thing, use Hipfire Grip with Offhand Strike for PvP. There's also more combos than Slide Shot or Threat Detector with Killing Wind or Moving Target for a classic PvP slug. Ah yeah, Trustee time. This thing's a long-range pocket inferno. It's alright in PvP as well, being a fast-firing range option for maps like Widow's Court or even Disjunction. Surplus, Perpetual, or Rapid Hit with Incandescent for PvE. Killing Wind, Surplus, Perpetual, or Rapid Hit with Opening Shot or Focus Fury for PvP. Next one up's Posterity. This thing, although a 180, is actually a decent gun that feels good to use. Its perk combinations are wild because, like in previous raid collections, they put a damage perk in the third slot. You know how some weapons get Volt Shot? Yeah, this one gets it in the third slot. My suggestion for PvE, predictably so, are Volt Shot and your pick of Rampage, Frenzy, or Focus Fury. For PvP, it's got a few decent options as well, having Rapid Hit, Surplus, and Killing Wind in the third slot, with Opening Shot in the fourth. For how little you see machine guns, Commemoration is really good because of the things it can roll. It's an adaptive, so it's got decent one-shot potential in PvE, and a decent TTK in PvP as well. Being Void, you can also pair it with subclass synergy like Volatile Rounds for extra flavor. Reconstruction, Feeding Frenzy 4 times, Dragonfly, Subsistence, or Rapid Hit in the third slot with your choice of Rampage, Firing Line, or Killing Tally for PvE. For PvP, I suggest Surplus with Under Pressure. Bequest has more impact than other adaptive frame swords, which means it actually does a little more damage, which would be nice if this thing was worth anything. It might be harsh to say, but this has to be one of my least favorite swords because adaptive sword heavy attacks are just not really great at anything. Tireless or Relentless with Surrounded, Vorpal, or One for All for PvE. I wouldn't suggest using this one for PvP. That's all three of those collections. As far as obtaining the weapons goes, I think the order goes Seraph, IKELOS, then Deepstone Crypt from easiest to hardest to get. Same thing I've said before, if you can, put a team together and get the Deepstone guns. They're some of the most reliable in the game, especially for backup boss damage or off-meta strats. And that does it for this video. If you found this video informative, drop a like and subscribe to show that you want more of these. If you have anything special to share about these weapons or your personal rankings, put them down below in the comments and help boost engagement. Anyway, appreciate you, have a good one.